Okay, I believe I'm here. Alrighty. Okay. Greetings, citizens. Justiguy has arrived and returned, and so on and so forth. And hopefully, once again, the audio is not screwed up. I'm still trying to get used to this new-ish set up thing. But yeah, back with more Higurashi no Nakukoni Onikakushi, which is the first chapter of the original series of visual novels, and we're just going to jump right in. The third episode of the latest series aired today, but, well, I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day, and then on Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Then on Mion were already waiting. Here we go. Yeah. Back into reading mode here. And on Mion, we're already waiting at the meeting place. Hey, John, you're late. Hey, sorry, the show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting? Hey, John, you just got here yourself. How do I sound now? How do I sound now? How do I sound now? If anyone's actually here, please let me know. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? He was just as guilty as me. Anna was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, and I really did make a picnic. John, after you left, Anna pulled out all the stops. By the way, if anyone here is, if anyone is here, but if anyone here remembers, I'm 99% sure this is the scene that they mentioned at like one point early on in Higurashi, because first of all, if you're just joining us, we technically started reading these out of order. We read the third entry first, and then we jump back to number 1. And I guess from here, if I keep going, we'll go do them in order. But what they do is they mention stuff that happened in these parts from the previous ones. It's like you assume they happened off screen and blah 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 blah. Anyway, this scene right here was mentioned in Higurashi at some point. Anyway, yeah, that happened. So yeah, and I pulled out all the stops. Not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing. Don't worry about it, okay? Been like this since last night, you know? You take responsibility for this. All right. I'm a man, after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? For what? I'm not sure I like. Sorry, I'm just looking at how the audio down there looks like the although maybe it's just that this track is particularly quiet. Maybe. If anyone comes in at some point, please let me know if I'm just totally silencing the audio. I thought I've done my best, but you know, feedback in the immediate is the best for this. Anyway, as we both turned around slowly to look at Anna, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Rena we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? Anna was picking it up. I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Ichikun is a boy, after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave-ho. Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make renasad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mayabara-kun, I believe. Hey, Bahamut, thank you. I will do that. Have a good one. Hope you're having a good one, rather. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerby even knew my name. And did I become this famous? Past 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. Don't worry, Kei-chan, that'll be the norm soon enough. It's a bit sad to say, everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that Mayabara fella who just moved here? Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you can only pull off in a place like this. But it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking in a dirty magazine at a bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. And I don't know, as we found out in Tatarin Goroshi, Mion and Rika-chan apparently were running around reading Arrow Days, so I think you're in the clear, Kei-chan. Yamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takezo from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san. What? The nurse from the clinic. Did she not have a sprite yet? Her hobbies are Excuse me? Her hobbies are bird watching and photography. Are they now? Actually, I'm curious. The person we just met, is that right? Is that right? Hold on. What did she just say then? It was famous. It's hard to say. Okay, so she's okay. Well, that's interesting. You know the names of everyone we passed by, and even their profiles. Interesting. And so in Onikakushi, she was just Mio-san, or does Erna call her Mio-san? I'm pretty sure Mion calls her Takano-san. Oh. We'll have to pay attention to this. Being my surprise, Mion and Erna exchange looks at first until after. I can't do a good impression of that. Here, hold on. I'm gonna just get that real quick. Let me see if this will play. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Hold on, alright, let's, if I can keep this open for when they laugh. Go on. Okay, that'll be fun. Anyway. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. What the fuck? Oh, Christ. YouTube autoplay, you scared the shit out of me. Okay, never mind, we're not doing that. I was like, oh my god, why is this one doing it? Oh, Jesus, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, I'm such a jackass. Anyway. Anyway, yeah, let's try it out. You there, who am I? You're Keiichi Mayabara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers, didn't you? That's enough! That's enough! Boxers? Enough of that. Apparently, there is absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Namizawa was not a place to be trifled with. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, there was a typo. It's Hinamizawaza. No, you threw me off there, trying to trick me. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. I mean, yeah, 2 girls with a new pet makes sense. But you all think so too? That Kei-chan is sitting right in here in Hinamizawa? Population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but oh god, I'm already yawning. Held back. Had I ever greeted someone who'd just been moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me... Oh god, what did I... Oh, Jesus. Sorry. All over here. Ignore me. Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke after all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my Barakun, how wonderful for you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation for how energetic I was. Good! As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink. Oh, now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe? Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can. Just too much! It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. Harsh. I'd expect no less from the class representative. And if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Ah, yeah! Good idea, I agree! And I nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. And then they got married and lived happily ever after. Oh. Oh. There. Resting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place. Sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunchboxes, and there. Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. Was or not cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion! It'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know? Good afternoon. Hika-chan and Setoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. See, this was her secret plan. The power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion! Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. It just had to come since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds. It's not yours. Eiichi is right. This is everyone's problem. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Sato. Hold on 1 second. Where's my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None! I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that! Rika! Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. And really, hey John, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate, one for me-chan and Nika-chan too. Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If you don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right. Okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone. Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I will not allow you to have this hamburger! Using your elbows against the rules! Go! Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle. Blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves, Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. Ah! The last meatball! Satoko Hojo has been bested! No! Satoko and I amiably began choking on this at the same time, not on the same thing as I thought it was going to say, falling backwards and spasming. Nika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Nina blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. That's definitely not foreboding. The intense battle calmed. And finally, everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that long ago, people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy even while eating and didn't have the time to complement the flavor. That's just you. But you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Nika-chan struck Rena directly with quote-unquote praise. He looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. Oh? How? After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Well, it sounded more like a boing. Oh! Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Nika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it. To reward Nika-chan for her praise. Ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Nika-chan. After Nika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rina-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey! So, Rina Oni-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy too. Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. What? How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is already a limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rina! Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rina glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute! Satoko is so cute. Gonna take you home. Swish! Stab! Push! Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Nana. That's unfair! I think she had such a trick. If it upsets you that much, why not reward Nana-san with some praise? Damn it! That was a dirty trick! First of all, that wasn't even praise! Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion! What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Why don't I have you show me then? Writhing of an old maid. The plan of attacks she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfect. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it was frozen stuff. And which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing. I really have to say, must I? With the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? In a turned an even deeper shade of red, the words, "I can't believe it," practically written on her face. How could you tell? How? But I made it! Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. Acting like I was shy, I waited the beat. Next would be the finisher. It has your smell. What the? Silence enveloped the area. Rina, face still completely red. Rose solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to fry one of Rina's handmade apple rabbits. Something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko. It felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then, at that moment, it was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please eat some, Keiichiro. There's plenty for you. Instantly, dozens of apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, say, Keiichiro. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth while she was squealing. One apple after the other was forced to my mouth. More, more, more. Hey-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it! Such trickery! It doesn't bother me at all! Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Nana stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. John, you're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. I think I know it. Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I want to save him. That was the sound of blood spurting from an innocent Tonight, I will take you home. She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a and fixed them back up on a plate. Now they're all just fine, Kay? Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan, Kay? Kay. Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbits shoved to her. She whispered, "This is our victory." What? Come back! It's a Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Oh, such fun. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Nana and Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today. Mion and I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Satoko and Nika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended with just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. And, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? Maybe? Detour? Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Nana, I quietly nodded. Oh, hey, I know this place. Oh no, I know that place too! And this place. Not this place. Okay, here we're on. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper. It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had was here? The business you had here? Was with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. And I had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. That means there was something cute here? Whoa, a new pile. I can't wait. She bounded up the unstable slope. I expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait! I'm coming. Whoa, whoa! My city-raised self was completely pitiful. It's all right. Just stay right there, Kage-kun. It won't take long. And I kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. Excuse me. I'm fine. I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Finna disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively nana around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Mitake Flush! Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and thin. Oh, so hot. Something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Kind of a loser looking now that I think about it. Well, but it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa! You surprised me! Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. It was my line. I'm the one who was surprised. Yeah. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. Go on. I didn't ask who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. This scene was literally in today's episode of Sotsu, but okay, anyway. Except it was Satoko saying it. Anyway, my bad. I mainly why do I keep saying it like that? I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. Ha ha ha! What, you're saying I'm the same as birds? No, well, you see, that image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just now flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rana would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself. Kage-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I finished now. Rina popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's actually what I wanted to know. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if I were talking with Reina and the others. Except you don't know that. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. Kage-kun, sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess? I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Kage-kun. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. To the Golden Land, perhaps? Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Kage-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Nana's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now. How was it? find a treasure trove. Oh, yes! So listen! You see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll! Yeah. I'm surprised, well, I guess they don't want to have to explain Kenta-kun without just, whatever. Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing. Those statues they always have out in front of the fried chicken place. That life-size dummy, that guy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. Oh, cute. I want to take it home. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. Garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another tile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lampposts over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Rina seems quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out. Repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today. Oh, thank you. Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us. Going to help. Take Carpenter's home. Ooh. Anna staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. Thoughts of taking Colonel Sanders home with her, just making her drunk with passion. So I don't fucking. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Elena, how long ago did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though, Hal. Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something. I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Then it quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that... So you see, I don't really know that much from before that. Sorry. Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. Quite a disturbing incident. Seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms. Just like Tomitake-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. Dun dun dun. Oh, wow. That was surprisingly short. Well, let's read some tips. Mayabara Manor and not mansion, apparently. Okay. Oh, Kei-chan, you're not stinking rich? You're not stinking rich? What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in a limo before? How much do you get for a monthly allowance? About $10. My, that's a rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. What are they talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much I get and then told that's a plebeian amount. Haha, sorry. Then I seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hinamizawa calling it the Mayabara Manor, and it sort of stands out. But Mayabara Manor! Since the house is so big, everybody is gossiping, wondering exactly how rich you are. I see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstandings. From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house, and that is why they are now broke. Being broke? How very, very unfortunate. Kei-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand and the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is so big is because Dad's studio is in it too. There are a bunch of different workshops and lots of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, the family only uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people in cars could come in to see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is the one for the studio and is normally sealed off. The entranceway the Mayabara family actually uses is a very plain and simple one. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really like a chance to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming not to be, but having a home like that. What could be hidden there? Maybe there's something cute hidden there. Oh! They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. There are carpeted rooms I would love to try rolling around on the floor. Wow, that'd be so great, so great! I want to roll around too. Seems like their imaginations were just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be too bad to invite them all to my house. Dad is a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them look around his studio. The cry of the Higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Excuse me. A damn sight murder / dismemberment newspaper edition. Thick. From the June XX 1979 edition. The Shishibone City Yokinomiya Police Station, June XX. Suspects XXXX, XXX, XXXX, XXXXX, XXXX were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender, XXXXX, has been added to wanted lists nationwide. Wait a minute, is this my song? I think it might be. According to our sources, 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on the XX at 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer XXXX as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. Yeah. On the XX at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. XXXX. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. As a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of the corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Oh no! Running! Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute, during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is still ongoing. Okay, well, that's chapter 2.